Welcome to the channel. This video is going to be about one of the many illnesses that victims of narcissistic abuse suffer from being in relationship with a narcissist. Romantic, friendships, or they have narcissists for parents. Narcissistic abuse can lead to eating disorders such as emotional eating. This can happen because the victim of narcissistic abuse may use food as a way to cope with the pain and trauma they are experiencing. They may turn to food for comfort or to numbing their emotions. This can lead to an unhealthy relationship with food and can cause weight gain or other health problems. Narcissistic abuse can cause a range of eating disorders, from emotional eating to anorexia. If you are in a relationship with a narcissist, it is important to be aware of the potential for abuse and seek help if necessary. Could you have an eating disorder? There are a few different ways to recognize if you have an eating disorder. One way is if you are preoccupied with food and your weight. This may look like thinking about food all the time, feeling guilty after eating, or obsessively counting calories. Another way to tell if you have an eating disorder is if your eating habits have changed drastically. This may look like eating much less than usual, skipping meals, or only eating certain foods. Lastly, if your physical appearance has changed dramatically, this may be a sign of an eating disorder. This may include sudden weight loss or gain, changes in hair or skin, or wearing baggy clothes to hide your body. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, it is important to reach out for help. There are a few key ways to tell if you may have an eating disorder. These include a preoccupation with food, weight, and appearance, an intense fear of gaining weight, a distorted body image, an obsession with calorie counting and/or food restriction, excessive exercise, purging behaviors such as self-induced vomiting or misuse of laxatives, skipping meals or eating very small portions, stealing or hoarding food, feeling out of control around food, frequent mood swings, withdrawing from social activities, isolating yourself, experiencing drastic changes in weight, wearing baggy clothes to hide your body. If you or someone you know is exhibiting these signs, it is important to seek professional help. Eating disorders are serious mental illnesses that can have devastating consequences if left untreated. Do you find yourself gaining weight during times of stress? Do you fear boredom because you know you'll simply eat to fill the time? These are just some of the symptoms of emotional overeating. If you think you may suffer from this relatively common eating disorder, here are some signs and symptoms that may help you identify whether or not this is what you're struggling with. Mindless eating. If you have a binge eating disorder or emotional overeating problem, you may stuff food in and not even really taste it or realize what you're doing. It's as though you are out of it and just mindlessly stuffing food into your mouth. Feelings of guilt and shame. Many people with emotional overeating disorders feel really embarrassed and hateful of themselves after they've got through with an eating binge. The problem, of course, is that these negative feelings may make you reach for more food for comfort. Eating in secret. Because of being embarrassed, many emotional overeaters will eat in private, reserving their naughty foods for when no one is looking. Always on my mind. Do you think about food all the time? Do you feel anxious about the prospect of leaving the house without snacks or money to buy food? Constantly thinking about food may be a sign that you have an emotional overeating disorder. Feeling sick. Sometimes, emotional overeaters will eat and eat to comfort themselves, and then feel sick afterward. Obviously, this is your body's way of telling you you've eaten far too much more than is good for you. But for emotional overeaters, this sickness does not necessarily deter the next binge. Identify your triggers. Emotional overeating is usually triggered by something. Emotions, yes, but sometimes we need to be more specific than that. Identifying your personal triggers can go a long way toward helping you overcome the disorder. Basic trigger categories include emotional, eating to relieve boredom, stress, or anxiety. Psychological, you may eat in response to negative, self-destructive thoughts. Environmental, situational, you may eat simply because the opportunity is there. Also, in this category is the habit of eating while doing another activity, such as reading or watching TV. Do any of these signs and symptoms describe you? If so, don't despair. There are treatment options available for emotional overeaters. Check with your healthcare provider for advice on therapists or specialists in your area. Don't forget to like this video. Here are some alternative ways to heal eating disorders. Alternative therapies for emotional overeating. Emotional overeating can make a person feel imprisoned. It can seem like there is no way out of the cycle of feeling sad, angry, anxious, and so forth, and then eating to alleviate the emotional pain. There are treatments that are available, though some of them conventional and some of them alternative. Conventional therapy, surgery, and medication have all been utilized at one time or another for the treatment of emotional overeating. There are, however, some alternative therapies that are worth exploring. Here are some of them. Hypnosis. Because emotional overreading begins in the mind, hypnosis is said to be effective because it addresses the mind directly with the power of suggestion. Hypnosis is not the mumbo-jumbo stuff of cartoons and swinging pocket watches. It's a clinical practice, and many practitioners have used it with success to treat emotional overeating. It works for me. Meditation. The intent of meditation as a treatment for emotional overeating is to tune into the emotional thought center that is driving your cravings or binge eating. Meditation, sometimes taking a form called mindfulness, is the opposite of mindlessness, which is what often happens in emotional overeating. The person does not really think about what he or she is doing, it's mindless eating. Herbal supplements. It seems like every time you turn around there's a new herbal supplement promising to help you lose weight. But there are some herbs that can help with the issue of emotional overeating. Here are some of them. Pudia. This much publicized herb is said to be effective at appetite suppression and boosting energy. Its effects tend to be subtle, and it also has a good safety record. Gidex. This hormone-balancing herb for women may help those whose emotional overeating is influenced by hormone fluctuations. Ginseng. This ancient herb is said to help sugar cravings and curb the compulsion to overeat in response to one's emotions. Both American and Asian ginseng are purported to be equally effective. Acupuncture. Acupuncturists are often asked if acupuncture can help with weight loss. The answer, in general, is yes, but not always. However, the good news is that acupuncture tends to be more successful with treating emotional overeating than just overeating. This may be due to acupuncture's alleged ability to release endorphins and boost metabolism, making the client feel better emotionally, effectively curtailing the emotional overeating. Nutrition. Interestingly, having the right balance of vitamins and minerals may affect emotional overeating. It's not too much of a stretch to speculate that nutritional deficiencies could play a part in this kind of overeating. So, make sure you're not eating a lot of artificial, processed, prepackaged foods. Opt for fresh, whole foods as a general rule. It's also a good idea to take a vitamin and mineral supplement that is formulated for your gender and life situation. Thank you for watching. For more ways to recover from narcissistic and toxic abuse, watch this video. If you found this information valuable, share this video, subscribe and hit the notification button.